You are now tuned in to Go Time Dolphins with Charlie Touche and Kadeem Simmons, the Miami Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. Go. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Go. Don't waste no time.
Charlie Touche.
Wagwan, my youth.
It's showtime. Miami Dolphins training camp is underway. We are weeks away from preseason action, which means we are weeks away from meaningful NFL football. As you always say, there's two types of season. There's waiting for football season and there's football season. And we're slowly phasing out of one into the other. Before we dive into day one of Dolphins veteran camp, I guess, how are you, Charlie?
It's Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that goes not only across the pond, but across the world. I'm your boy, Charlie Touche. Got my co-host, Kadeem Simmons, with me. It's always for the fans and by the fans. Your favorite podcast. Got my McDaniel's shirt on, not my McMuffin. McLovin, I said McMuffin. not the McLovin shirt. It's the McDaniel's shirt from Superbad. Shout out to Superbad. Hey, did you know Regina King did Huey's voice and Riley's voice on Boondocks?
I named my son after Riley. Of course, I knew she done both voices. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's really impressive. I've seen like interviews of her talking about how she does like the different voices, like the mindset she gets into and stuff like that. Yeah, really interesting and shows how talented she is.
Bro, I seen this tweet, and I guess apparently it's a classic tweet, and I must have missed it when it first came out. But it said, when women say they'll be ready in 5 minutes, just think of like 5 minutes left in the game, and both teams have their timeouts. When women say I'll be ready in 5 minutes, just know it's like having 5 minutes left in the game, and both teams have all of their timeouts. That was a classic tweet, man. Moya TV, what's happening, man? Go Time Dolphins, we out here. You already know what time it is. Yeah, Kadeem, we here. It's football season and waiting on football season, and we had to reveal today. Tatted Tua came out, revealed the sleeve. That boy like, you know what I'm saying? Like, tear the sleeves off. Like, yo, what you thought about Tatted Tua?
It looks great. You know, from what I'm aware, that sleeve, that tribal design is very meaningful to his culture, and it's one of those things where a lot of people saying it's showing his maturity, his growth, not only it had nothing to do with football, but as a person, as a human. He spoke about it being sentimental and meaningful to him because of like his son and stuff like that. So it's powerful. It's a genuinely powerful thing to me, and it's great to see him embracing not just adulthood but fatherhood as well.
Yeah, I actually didn't know what gender his child was. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's a real personal dude, and he said it. Bro, shout out to the Miami Dolphins media availability today. Coach McDaniel was out there. Shout out to IMAX in the comments. Coach McDaniel, real personable today. You know what I'm saying? Tua, real personable today. Like, yo, we getting a lot of personal stuff in this media availability. And I mean, it was enough football, but there was a lot of personal things. Coach McDaniel talking about his journey in sobriety, really opened up and shared there. It was revealing. And then Tua saying Netflix approached him about the quarterback series. And he was saying, yo, we thought about it, but, he didn't want to do it right now. And he doesn't want to do it now because, it's a thing now and it's probably going to be here. And then, me, I'm thinking, well, if you only do 3 quarterbacks a year, there's only 32 in the league. You know what I'm saying? Like, how are we gonna do this? You feel me? So I'm pretty sure you're gonna have to start entertaining some backups. But Tua was like, yeah, I don't know how I would do it because I'm a personal person. You know what I'm saying? Like real personal. So for anyone who hasn't seen the quarterbacks series on Netflix, Tua alludes to, the cameras are in the house, and I'm just real protective of my marriage, my children, and you know what I'm saying, how I handle games and the process. And then he was like, I don't know how I would have an interview in the car ride back to the house after a loss. Like, how would that even look? You know what I'm saying? And then how would I even handle a loss on TV still when I go home to process it? Now I have to process it with a camera in front of me. So I understand it. But if I'm being honest with you, mess around, Dolphins beat the Chargers week 1. Mess around, Dolphins beat the Patriots in week 2. Mess around, Dolphins beat the Broncos in week 3. It's going to be a lot of tatted Tua's undefeated talk out there. That's all I'm saying.
It's really interesting as well, because if you think back to training camp last year, and when photos of Tua first, like Tua's in training, all that kind of stuff, and Twitter detectives are an amazing thing, especially
incredible,
when it comes to QB1 Tua, and people noticed straight away. It was like, he's wearing a wedding ring, but that's as far as it went. It was like, cool, it's his news to break when he wants to break it, but people noticed that straight away. And then obviously someone leaked the news that he got married, and I think they went down to the city hall and pulled his records, and he came out.
Crazy.
He was like you couldn't let me have that moment. Like, I'm married, and I've got a kid on the way, and I want to tell that to the world. So it makes perfect sense that he's like, nah, like, I don't want you guys in my house. I don't want you guys around my newborn baby, around my wife. I think there's been like a few photos of his wife and child when they've been at games. But outside of that, that's it. They're not a social media family like that. So I don't blame him for saying, let me have my downtime away from, football. And plus as well, the media goes into every single bit of his life with, surrounding injuries and stuff like that. The guy just wanted to play football, go home and play his ukulele. That's it.
You feel me? And dress like Woody for Halloween, something that Sherrod Steve didn't like. You know what I'm saying? It's actually for the very first time. I don't know about very first time, but it appears to be for the first time. He did share a post on Instagram of his wife, and he said, "Yo, y'all know I'm personal and I don't do this, but I want to do this with somebody special." And he showed his wife on Instagram, and I'm pretty sure it's the first time he's ever done it on Instagram. Was like, "Yo, this is my wife." You know what I'm saying? So that's our quarterback. I'm cool, and I'm cool with it. And like I said, soon as we come out the gate 3-0, it's gonna be a lot of tatted Tua talk. Like, oh, tatted Tua is 3-0. So McDaniel was talking about basically, the vernacular that is had in this system, like, it takes over a year to get it right. And now Tua is in the second season in this system, and the comfort level is visible, is what everyone's saying. Tua sounds like he's comfortable. Apparently he's commanding the huddle, and it's like, yo, yeah, we here. Shout out to Xavier Howard with the bomb. Like, yo, Xavier Howard bringing it back to reality. Yeah, man, you want to share what's going on, man?
Yeah, I believe, what was it? Someone asked Xavier Howard, before we get into that, shout out to Robert. Says, evening, chaps. Kadeem, please put your hat on. I'll adapt to the short beard, but the no hat still freaks me out. Also, I get a haircut. I don't wear a hat, so I'll bring a hat back. Probably.
Hey, listen. Hey, just an update on Kadeem's beard. It is already like almost as long as my goatee. Like, this is scary, bro.
Yeah, I think, like, some people haven't even noticed that I've shaved my beard off. They're like, "Can you look different?" It's like, yeah, the beard's gone. Like, half my face is missing, but yeah, it does go back pretty quickly. Like, I can I can pull here. But yeah, I believe the question was something like, David Howard, what do you say to people who, have counted you out ahead of the season? He said, F them. You're like, yeah, I ain't got time for that. You're like, and yeah, it does seem like, kind of like Jalen Ramsey was talking about, being the best rated DB in Madden, and kind of bringing that mentality to the Miami Dolphins locker room and the defense. Like, we're the best. Let's beat dogs out there. If you go back and watch our episodes with friend of the podcast, William Hayes, 2 great episodes. But in one of them, he does talk about, being with a young Xavier Howard. And I believe he kind of says to him, he's like, you're good. But like, to basically paraphrase, like, believe in yourself. And, you kind of talk about that development and seeing Xavier Howard over the years, believe in himself more and kind of become more of like an alpha in that locker room, I guess, and stuff like that. So again, having 2 alphas, 2 dogs in Jalen Ramsey and Xavier Howard, on the outside, and leading not so much a young DB room, but it's clear that the Dolphins are building or are continuing to build leaders, not just for captains, but like the entire locker room. Hopefully are full of leaders.
But you seen Connor Williams gets in front of a microphone, and for those who are familiar, Connor Williams, I don't want to say held out, but he didn't show up to minicamp and OTAs. So he was asked, and obviously now it's mandatory training camp, and he was asked about his absence, and he said, "Yo, I feel like I'm one of the top 10 centers in the league, and I'm not happy with my contract, but it's football time now, and it's time for football." Like, you gotta appreciate something like that coming from someone who's disgruntled, and it's a business. It's the football business. And I remember being in the music business, and people would say, "Yo," and this is how I learned about the music business. I was told, "Yo, it's 2 words. Music is first and business is second. You gotta have the music before you could talk business." So it's the same thing with football. Like, yo, got to be able to play football before you can talk about business. And hopefully Connor Williams gets taken care of, even if it's not with us, but hopefully we secure a ring before we move on from him. What Dalvin Cook talking to the apparently Dalvin Cook dove Cleveland. What's his name? Dove
Cleveland, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. He says Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook has been in talking to New England. But if you listen to a couple other reports about a week ago, it was apparently Dalvin Cook has not been given a contract from the Miami Dolphins. There's conflicting reports that apparently no one has offered Dalvin Cook a contract, including the Dolphins. And then there was a report that said the Dolphins did offer him a contract. Now the report is no one has offered him a contract, and he's talking to the Patriots. So take that as you will. What's happening with Dalvin Cook, Kadeem?
It wouldn't surprise me if it's a bit of both. If it's the Dolphins, the report is that the Dolphins offered him like a $4 million 2-year contract. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's a matter of he saw that contract and was like, I'm not even entertaining that offer, get out of my face. When teams want to be serious with the offers, then, we will, then I'll respond. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's had offers, but no offers that are worthy of actually mentioning, and kind of like, it'll be like if someone said to you, hey, I want to buy your house for $100,000 and it's worth 4 times that. Like, that's not an offer. So I'm not even going to count it as an offer. When you're serious, come back to me. That's what it sounds like. And it wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if right now that 2-year, $4 million offer, isn't good enough. And then in 3 weeks' time, or, as the season starts, it's like, you know what? It's better than nothing. I'll play. I'll take it. It's the best offer I got. And it's with a team that, is trying to make a Super Bowl one this year.
Finn's Tailgate, thank you for the comment. We see you already. speaking of running backs, Dalvin Cook is not a Dolphin yet. But Saquon Barkley did something for that hasn't been done since like the 90s, I want to say. And that's sign a 1-year contract while being tagged, right? So he didn't sign the tag, he signed a 1-year contract, and the contract only gave him like an extra $900,000 in incentives. Shout out to Robert. He asked what is Dalvin asking for. If you listen to reports, it's upwards of $8 million. If you listen to the reports. So an unreliable source comes out and says the Dolphins try to trade for Saquon Barkley. And I say it's an unreliable source because Omar Kelly is unreliable. And we all know Omar Kelly sleeps during Dolphin practices and then wakes up and says, oh, they look like trash. I don't know how you do that in your sleep, but cool. So he came out and said Saquon Barkley, the Dolphins tried to trade for Saquon Barkley. And, you know, some people said it was realistic and it was unrealistic. What did you make of it, Kadeem?
It's great seeing Omar Kelly back on the Dolphins beat. Didn't really miss that too much, but it's what it is.
All kind of sarcasm.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Dolphins did put the feelers out and stuff like that. It does seem like the Dolphins are interested in adding to the running back room. Not just with Devon A-Chain, but with someone, I guess, a bit more senior, because again, it's Super Bowl window is widely open. And because of that, you kind of do what you can to add in in certain positions. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Dolphins at least made a call to the Giants and said, hey, if you're not going to pay him, we'll take him down here in Miami. What do you want for him? But like you said, it's not from what Dolphin fans deem to be the most reliable of sources. So take it with a pinch of salt. As Robert asks, is it just down to the money for him, though, or are his requirements, are he being number one running back too much? Before I put that to Charlie, I think it's just down to money. I think even he would kind of he would want to be the main running back, but also understand that if you're going to go on a deep playoff run, there might be a bit of rotation, and that most teams, even with a clear running back one, will switch things up. They use different guys in different situations. We saw it over the last few years, not just in Minnesota with him and Madison, but in Dallas with Tony Pollard and Zeke Elliott, in Miami last year with Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson Jr., friend of the podcast, Myles Gaskin. So yeah, I don't think he's holding out because he wants to be the clear, undefined, or the clear and defined running back one. I think it's more just a money issue. But what about you, Charlie?
Shout out to Sherrod Steve. Me and Steve go. This. You guys will pay for some of the content that me and Sherrod Steve go back and forth with sometimes. Sherrod Steve hit me with a Joe Mixon update, and basically Joe Mixon took less. I don't know, maybe $4 to $5 million less to stay in Cincinnati. And Sherrod Steve was like, "Oh, that's how you do it to win." And I'm like, yo, in my head, I didn't respond to him. So shout out to Sherrod Steve, because now I get to respond to him on the podcast. So I didn't respond to him. I meant to. My bad, bro. Mixon didn't take less to stay on a team to possibly win the Super Bowl. He took less because the running back market has Leonard Fournette in it, Kareem Hunt in it, Dalvin Cook in it, Saquon Barkley wasn't signed, Josh Jacobs isn't signed. There's still running backs out there, and Joe Mixon did not want to be a part of the running back casualty group. So if he didn't take less, he would have been cut. And now if you add that in with Dalvin Cook, like trying to get whatever he feels like he deserves, hey, get your money. It's cool. Even, D-Hop went to Tennessee. He said he wanted to play for a contender. That's not necessarily a contender, but you still want to get paid at the same time. So shout out to all these boys. They trying to get as much as they can, but also win at the same time. Because if not, Dalvin Cook and Hop would have went to Houston. You feel me? And like they would have just been happy getting $4 million extra above market price, market value. But that's not the case. So the rubber's going to hit the road here eventually, and Dalvin Cook is going to say, "Okay, I'll pay for $4 to $5 million with incentives somewhere. Maybe it's not in Miami, but the Patriots are talking to him now, and we'll just have to see." There was another thing I wanted to add, but I kind of forgot. Justin Herbert got paid.
There's getting paid and there's getting money. Like he got, is he now like the most expensive quarterback of all time?
Annually,
Annually,
APY.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know it's been interesting watching, Dolphin Twitter turn around and say paying all this money for, someone said Philip Rivers on birth control, which was quite funny.
Bro, that's probably one of the best jokes I've ever heard, bro.
And I think that Mitchell Schwartz, the former the former NFL lineman, offensive lineman, said, you pay this money, or I'm paraphrasing, but said you paid this money for someone who blew a 27 or 28 point lead in the playoffs. People pointing out he's like 27 and 28 or 28 and 28 across his NFL career.
He's barely over 500.
But the Chargers believe in him, and perhaps they probably genuinely believe that another season in the system, another season with his team, if the team can stay healthy, if he can stay healthy, not only will they reach the playoffs again, but they'll win a playoff game. So, listen, when you see these big contracts, get paid to quarterbacks, basically, you then have to be extra special in the draft. You have to hit on all your picks, because if not, where are you going to get these players from? You don't have much, free capital lying around when you're paying your quarterback as much money as they are.
Thomas Valentine, bro, we did not forget about you. Thomas Valentine was actually supposed to come on the podcast. He was scheduled. We actually had a time, a day. It was almost about to happen, and I had to do something that Phillip Rivers doesn't do, and that's pull out, because I had some things I had to do. I was busy that day, and something came up. So but I had some important things come up. So Thomas, you more than welcome, because I still want to smoke, man.
Yeah, same with Charlie Walsh, and not just that. If you are here, like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video. It's nearly football season. Talking about videos, have you seen the Tyreek Hill video?
Oh, we got it. Tyreek
We
Hill
got
video.
It. We got it.
So Tyreek Hill has settled his case in Marina slapping incident, and I'm pretty sure it was under 6 digits, but significant enough for this guy to go away. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't know we had video of it.
5 Yard Lee sent it to our group.
Oh, hold on. No.
5 Yard Lee sent it to our group. If anyone who's watching at the moment, go to Andy Slater's Twitter channel or Twitter profile. He's got the video up on his Twitter channel.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah. What's funny about that video is that Andy Slater put like his watermark over it. It's like got by Andy Slater, so no one else can take it, which is fair. But yeah, it looks harmless, but you can always, there's contact, and of course, it's going to lead to issues. Tyreek Hill did address it, talking to media today. He kind of said, I'm here to play football, don't want to talk about it too much, but he can't do that. He has to be better and avoid trouble. So at the moment,
go ahead.
So at the moment, it looks like the NFL aren't going to do nothing. That video might mean that they're going to do something, but as people have pointed out, there'd be more damning videos in the past 12 months, and that person or those people have managed to avoid, suspension. So maybe it's the same with Tyreek Hill.
So I'm looking at it right now for the first time, and you want to pull it up, Kadeem?
Yeah, okay, yeah. Let's Shout out to Andy Slater. I hope you don't mind us too much. Oh, I say hope you don't mind. Not much you can really do. To be fair,
we gave him credit. We gave him credit. We about to pull up the Tyreek Hill video. Let's see what we get, y'all.
I'm gonna say Andy Slater's Twitter page. It's his X page because Twitter changing to X, and that's just.
So here's the Tyreek Hill slapping, and it was that fast.
Yeah,
that's it. That's all it was. If you want my opinion on it, now that everyone can see it, this is just a fine to me. This is not even a suspension. Not only is it not, it might not even be a fine, bro. Like, we don't even know if he made contact, but apparently he must have because it got settled and police came out and someone wanted to press charges. So we got to assume he did make contact, and we'll say he made contact, but this was I've sneezed harder than that.
It's crazy, but even though, but like he said, he has to be better. I don't think anyone can disagree with that.
You gotta keep your hands to yourself. Like I'm not trying to minimize anything. People need to keep their hands to themselves. You don't know what someone else is going through. You know what I'm saying? And then when someone reacts worse than you did, you get mad at that person reacting. Like, no, you got to keep your hands to yourself. I didn't ever want to come across like I was minimizing it. Actually, I did kind of minimize it. My bad. Let me walk that back for sure. Like, you got to keep your hands to yourself, bro. Because if someone comes back with excessive force, it's like, oh, well, he didn't have to react like that. Like, nah, you're not going to tell somebody how to react after you hit them first. So, yeah, let me walk all of that back. But, yeah, as far as a fine goes and a suspension goes, I'm saying it did not look like it warranted a suspension. And I'll even go as far to say this. The post slap looked worse than the actual slap. When people was holding him back and he looked like he was about to get into a fight. Yeah, like that. Yeah, he looked like he was playing DN, hitting swim moves and dipping and ripping and trying to get back to the dude. That looked worse than the slap. So it's like it's still conduct unbecoming. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's going to get him in trouble. I don't think he gets suspended at all, like this year or next year, if I'm being honest with you. Kamara still ain't suspended, and we still think he's going to get suspended. And Kamara, there's his was terrible. Like, dude could have lost his life in the Kamara incident.
Yeah, I think if the suspension does come down on Tyreek Hill, it will be the whole, you made the NFL look bad. We've got you on camera hitting a civilian. You can't do that. So because of that, here's a 2-game suspension. We're going to suspend 1 game, to make sure that you don't do anything wrong. But listen, you don't know. And again, no one's minimizing it here. Should never have happened. And actions have consequences. And if that consequence is him missing the game, then so be it. There's not much more you can do about that, I guess.
Shout out to friend of the podcast, Brandon Jones. That boy sound like he ready, bro. Like, we just gonna shout you out, bro. We rock with you. And he's going into a contract year. And I think, I'm on record saying, if we had Brandon Jones in that playoff game against the Bills, we would have won. Like, that would have been enough for us to edge out the win. And yeah, man, shout out to Brandon Jones. So Julian Edelman, former New England Patriot, says this about the Miami Dolphins. I could see Miami taking a step back. I don't know if it was a fluke, but December and November football is different, and it's just different. I see them taking a step back because there's too much hype around them. Julian, no Hall of Fame football Edelman. Get out of here, bro. Like, I can't say too much because he a champion. You know what I'm saying? He got a couple rings, but bro, get out of here, bro. Like, dog just super hating. I don't even want to continue, but yeah, man. Taking a step back. It's too much hype around them. November and December football is different, man. Get out of here.
Thing is, like, there's not every single team who makes the playoff one year going to make it the next.
Hold on, bro. I'm eked up. Hold up, my bad, dog.
No,
November and December football different, and you didn't mention Josh Allen. If we talk about November and December football, like, nah, bro. Bring up some other team that don't get it done in November and December, and then talk about the Dolphins, bro. My bad, Kadeem.
No. I think it would have been more relevant if he said that, after the previous season when the Dolphins, kind of got all the way and then faltered against the Titans. But this is a team which kind of got it done in December and January enough to make it to the playoffs. And, by your words, if they had friend of the podcast, Brandon Jones, then they beat the Buffalo Bills. So, and I also think this isn't a team which feels that or like believes in themselves too much. Yeah, you've got Tyreek Hill saying that, the Dolphins are going to win the Super Bowl and he's going to have, 2,000 yards. But I don't think anyone is out there going, because we made the playoffs last year, we're going to make the playoffs this year. It's a brand new season. Right now, every team is 0-0. And, you've got to work hard. You've got to put the hard work in. You've got to put in the hard work in now, same way you've got to put the hard work in December. So, no, listen, I can't imagine anyone, let alone, like Mike McDaniel going, you know what, feet up, hands on head, guys, we've got this. Let's just go out there, mess around, and we'll find our way back in, in the playoffs because we have something, owed to us. Mike McDaniel said, the first year of coaching was fun, but they had some down points. That 5-game losing streak, you don't want to go for that again. We went for that last year. Let's learn from it so it doesn't happen again this year. So no, it's the Dolphins. Yeah, while there might be some backward step because no journey to the top is ever straight and stuff like that. They've got players with chips on their shoulders. You've got Jalen Ramsey, who people think he's over the hill, and now he's going to end up in Miami for money. You've got an Xavier Howard who people are writing off. You've got a Tua who, there's people out there doubting or questioning why he's number 82.
Hold on. We're gonna get there.
Okay, but it's there's enough whiteboard material for the Miami Dolphins to play like they're being slept on. And again, there are some people, I think even Vegas has the Jets winning more games than the Dolphins or something like that. So
yeah, I was ready for that. For the easy money segments. I was ready for Aaron Rodgers to come in and give us a better betting market. And thank you for coming to the AFC East so we could smack on easy money. Speaking of the top 100 players of the NFL, I didn't want to lump sum all of the three Dolphin players that have been revealed so far. So I want to give all of them their due. Christian Wilkins comes in at 81. Christian Wilkins is like one of the top 3, I think, in this position as far as production in the past 2 seasons in his positions in the NFL, and he comes in at 81. I thought it was pretty low, but cool. What did you think of it, Kadeem?
Pay the man. Pay Christian Wilkins. I've said that for the last 2 years. I'm going to keep on saying it until the Dolphins pay him. If the Dolphins pay him, I'm going to be hurt because it's not like I've got his jersey. I've stayed away from his jersey so he doesn't leave. So
and watch that. See, you got it. We did what we had to do. We're going to keep Christian Wilkins.
Very quickly, shout out to Hammer. Fin up, Hammer time. And
Hammer don't hurt.
And it's also Christian Wilkins. I think people look down on him because he doesn't have the sack numbers, and I think that's quite harsh because he's a disruptive force by himself. He seems down to earth. He seems humble, and he's just the coolest guy. And he's someone I spoke to when the Dolphins were last in England. So I've got to throw that out. Shout out to JML. He says he got like 5 minutes. A lot can happen in 5 minutes. Ask Philip Rivers.
Bro, Phillip Rivers catching all kind of strays today, boy. Oh my goodness. Listen, coming in at number 82 in the top 100 NFL players list is Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa Tagovailoa. I thought he came in extremely low, but even he came out and said, yo, I wasn't there to finish the season with my team. I missed too many games, and I wasn't surprised where I was ranked. Now, it didn't say he was surprised about being on the list. It didn't say he was surprised about being low on the list. And if you know Tua, if you're a Dolphin fan, you probably know he don't even care about the list. But what did you think when you seen Tua coming in at 82?
I was kind of surprised, to be honest, and not because he's a bad quarterback, but I think when like DK Metcalf and
Oh, did you say Tua's a bad quarterback?
That's not because he's a bad quarterback. And if I said Tua's a bad quarterback,
but that kind of came out like you said. I'm not surprised because he's a bad quarterback.
I didn't mean to say that. I'll try and make my point before you put other words in my mouth.
I just heard the words.
Yeah,
you said them.
And that's fine. Let me clarify the point I was trying to make. Mm-hmm. So when the list kind of first comes out and you don't see DK Metcalf and Kevin Byard on it, I was like, oh, okay. I would have thought those two guys would be kind of like locks to make the list. And I thought that, like you said, because Tua didn't finish the season, I thought he might have been overlooked. But again, the flip side to that is, while Tua was on the field, he kind of showed why the Dolphins took him at 5th overall a couple of years ago. So I think, was it Mike McDaniel who said, it's good when you're on it and when you're not in it, you don't really care too much. Like, again, something along those lines. But it's the recognition that I guess it's great that he kind of it's great that he's getting recognized by his peers. And it's also great that Hammer's there in the comments, saying rewind Charlie. He didn't say it like that. So thanks, Hammer. Yeah, exactly. What did you make of Tua being? You kind of alluded to it earlier about Tua being 82.
Yo, everyone knows that Tua is not the 82nd best player in the NFL. He's way higher. And yeah, the man was injured and he was out. So cool. We got to prove it. And bro, listen, stuff like this, Pro Bowls, MVPs, all that is cool. But at the same time, that's not what any of us want. We want championships. And it's going to get to a point, Herbert got $52 million a year. Burrow's going to get his money. Tua's going to get in the 50s. Now I want to win and then give you that money. And I feel a lot better about it as opposed to, dang, we really got to give this man 50. It's going to be more than 52. It's going to be 54 to $56 million by the time he comes around because he's getting the 5th-year option next year. Unless the Dolphins win the Super Bowl, then it's going to be all right. Well, we'll work it out. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, it's crazy. He'll be in the top 30 next year for sure. Matter of fact, Tua's going to be in the top 20 next season.
Shout out to DC Kai Kid, was on the show recently with his quarterback rankings. He says he'll be top 5 this time next year. Listen, if he's top 5 this time next year, the Dolphins have won the Super Bowl. I think that's
straight up.
Fair to say.
Straight up.
So yeah. Was there another Dolphins player on the list?
81 was Christian Wilkins. 82 was Tua Tagovailoa Tagovailoa. And 83 in succession was Teron Armstead. So 3 Miami Dolphin players coming in back to back to back. Teron Armstead is starting on the PUP list, by the way. Nice way to throw that in there, too. First thing, order of business is cool. He's on the 83. He's one of the best left tackles in the league when he's on the field. But I think we've had this conversation way too many times with players and talking about when they're healthy. And for the past, it feels like 15 years because Parker was over here and in the end of Tannehill's careers, you know what? Like, this is getting old. But I think he's actually in the right area because he's always hurt, but he plays through his injuries. So credit to him for playing through them. But I'm more ready to talk about the PUP list and him not being available for training camp. But go ahead. What did you think about him being 83rd overall on the list?
I think that's the one where it's like he probably is too low because when he's healthy, he's one of the best left tackles in the league. He's just never healthy. But again, it's a credit to him that he plays through their injuries. And if you didn't know he was injured, you wouldn't think he's injured because, he still plays to an elite level. So shout out to that. In terms of him being on the PUP list, Mike McDaniel kind of cleared it up and said he's had his knee cleared out. And it's him, Tanner Connor. I can't remember the other people who were on the PUP list, but he did kind of say if he kind of put a time frame on who will come back the quickest, like Armstead was kind of up there. So it's like, he's done there, but it's not a worry. Some people like, isn't this what happened with Byron Jones? I don't think it's that. This isn't a Byron Jones Will Fuller situation, but like you said, Armstead plays through injuries, and he was on his birthday working out. His birthday was a few days ago, so he's at least active, if that helps.
You got anything before we go on the bonus time, Kadeem?
Yeah.
All right. So just honorable mention on the players' top 100 list. It's 3 Dolphins, and then 80 or 81, 82, 83, and then 85 was honorable mention. Laramie Tunsil, we see you. You feel me? I think Laramie Tunsil is supposed to be up there on the list too. So, but go ahead. What you got for us, Kadeem?
It's a question. I'll ask it now. We can discuss it in bonus time, and we'll also give people in the comments time to answer. So the question is, how many Dolphins do you think are left on this list, the NFL top 100, and which Dolphins do you think will make the list? So how many, and of if you say 5, which 5 is it? If you say 10, which 10 is it? So we can answer it.
Hold up. So how many Dolphins do you think are left in the top 100 players list, and who are they? Y'all got about 30 seconds to come up with this list and tell us on the other side of bonus time, and you get our answers as well. Cool?
I'll say about a minute, but yeah, all good.
Y'all know what time it is. Stay positive, test negative. For Kadeem Simmons, I'm Charlie Touche. Thank you for tuning in this time. Make sure you catch us next time on Go Time. Already.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's showtime. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's showtime. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's showtime. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time.
Hey.
How many you got, Kadeem? Let's go through the question one more time.
So we've had 3 Dolphins in the top NFL 100 so far. Christian Wilkins 81, Tua Tagovailoa 82, and Antoine Armstead 83. With honorable mention of Laramie Tunsil at 85. I think we've got 1, 2, 3. No, 1, 2. I think we've got about 5 left. I'm gonna say 5, but let me double check this. So I think we've got Tyreek Hill 1, Jalen Waddle 2, Jalen Ramsey 3. Although DC Kai Kid says Ramsey doesn't count, I'm counting him. So Jalen Ramsey 3, Jalen Phillips 4, Christian Wilkins 5, and Bradley Chubb 6. I think we've got 6. I think Robert Hunt is probably like a year away from making it. I think Zach Sealer will be omitted. And I don't think I said his name, but Xavier Howard could make it. So how many definites did I have?
I don't know.
So again, so the wide receivers, Waddle and Hill, Jalen Ramsey, Christian Wilkins, friend of the podcast, Javon Holland. I reckon we can have like about 7 or 8 players, like legit.
So now you went from 5 to 6 to 7 to 8. Like you, LeBron James, not 5.
Yeah, I am clearly.
Not 6, not
also,
7, not 8.
Like before we like get to that, generally, shout out to LeBron James' son, Bronny James. Suffered a cardiac arrest. I think it was on Monday while training. Never good to hear thing. So we hope he has a speedy recovery. But yeah, I can't help. You go for your list. I'm gonna write my list down. and kind of hope to see where I land.
So this is my list right here. Hammer don't hurt him, hit it on the head. However, he didn't add a couple people, so I'll clear it up. I don't think Robert Hunt makes the list. Now there's who I think should be in the top 100 list, which is Kader Kohu, Xavier Howard, Javon Holland, Christian Wilkins, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Bradley Chubb, and Jalen Ramsey, which is 8. But Jalen Ramsey wasn't on the Dolphins, but I still think he'll be on this list. Shout out honorable mention Connor Williams. He won't make my list. How many do I think make the actual top 100 list out of those 8? Probably 6. I don't think they give Kader Kohu his credit, and I don't think I'll go with 7. 7 will make the list, but that I don't think they'll give Kader Kohu his credit.
Yeah, I can see that. And yeah, like someone like friend of the podcast, Robert Hunt, probably like maybe a year away. I don't think Zach Sealer's gonna get his credit. And then I guess that's probably it. Although, if we're not counting Ramsey, do you think Mike Gesicki makes the list, or do you think he just didn't
make the list? Yeah, he's not gonna make the list. Hey, I will say this. That means we'll have 10 total players altogether. That's crazy. That's a lot.
And Hammer kind of asked that question: are we counting people who already know are on the list? So yeah.
Well, it was how many more would be on the list? But hey, real quick, Lionel Messi scored twice
and an assist,
bro. This man. Listen, this man scored 3 goals in 2 games in under 60 minutes. Bro, I'm all the way locked in. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Now I know I'm not as invested as I am with the Dolphins. You know what I'm saying? I bleed aqua and orange. Orange is one of my favorite colors, and you wouldn't even be able to guess my other favorite color, which is purple. But it don't work. But still,
Purple Rain.
Hey, you supposed to keep going, bro.
I've never seen the movie, so I just kind of left it at that.
All right. So anyway, yeah. So orange is one of my favorite colors. Hurricanes. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm invested in the Hurricanes. It's just I gave up on them. You know what I'm saying? When they come back, they come back. The Panthers, the Marlins, bro. I'm not as invested in Inter Miami, but this is a very good beginning of a relationship. I will tell you that for sure. So shout out to Inter Miami. I got a question for you, Kadeem. How come goalies? You know how they got the goalie kit and it'd be like a different color from the team? And I understand that. But why it gotta be like a color that don't even match the team? Like, bro, okay, if we rock white, you don't want to wear white. I get it. But why you rocking this ugly yellow that don't go with pink? Like, how does that work?
As a goalie myself, you kind of pick colors, or teams pick colors that other teams aren't going to wear. So you think about like the popular colors teams are going to wear: your reds, your blues, your white. You kind of go down that list. Say you have, so Inter Miami have a pink home kit, a black away kit,
and a white.
And then say their goalie kits were like red, and another one was blue. And to be fair, some teams do rock blue, but like it's just a kind of, you don't really clash with other teams. That's why you kind of get like a gray or a yellow or like a purple or a green or stuff like that.
I always
Robert Ashton says to the stand-up and foul at corners and free kicks. Yeah. Also, most keepers aren't allowed to wear black because referees wear black, and you don't want them to match with them either.
I always like the neon green. I like that. You know what I'm saying? Just go off script, go neon green. I get it, but yo, I can't do yellow, bro. When it's nowhere near. It don't even work in the colorway. You feel me? Hey, Robert Ashton, speaking of corner kicks, this is how you know I don't play soccer. I feel like the flag is in the way. Like, it's a flag in the corner.
No, it's not.
I know, bro, but it's like, yo, can I get all the space I need to hit this ball? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo,
So where would you put the flag?
who said we had to have a flag? But I'm just saying.
So when you play like Sunday league football and there's no flag, say the ball goes out and the referee can't tell if it's out for a throw or
Or a
for
corner.
a corner, yeah. And then sometimes you get that moment where like the ball hits the corner flag and it's kind of like, play on, I guess. I thought of you yesterday. So
What we got?
Tuesday, me, my mum and my dad took the 3-hour drive down to Birmingham from London. We had to go to a funeral. My great aunt passed away. But there's a lot of Americans there. And like we had the service, you had the food, and then the music starts. And I was always like, what kind of music do Americans listen to? Like, I know what Americans listen to. But the first song the DJ played, and that's why I thought of you. It was one Bob Marley, Three Little Birds. And watching the Americans know every single word, and they were dancing. I was like, yeah, Charlie would have enjoyed this. Yeah, it was good. It was emotional, but yeah, just literally. I know what, I've got the video. I will send you the video, and I will play it very quickly on here. I will try. Hopefully, it's not too loud or anything like that. If I can get to videos on my phone.
Hey, that thing live, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That thing. As a matter of fact, I performed once upon a time, and we I think did we do that? Yeah. Well, I guess I can't really remember, so I can't say I did it, but I know I did it at a performance. But hey, man. So do y'all say great nans or just nah?
Yeah, if it's someone's great nan, then it would be a great nan. This was like my great aunt, which is why I said great aunt.
Oh,
but yeah.
Hey, don't worry, Kadeem. Every little thing's gonna be all right, bro.
DC Kai got you already. But yeah. No, it was listen, we are edging ever closer to football season, and I had it here. Don't know where it is now. I'll find it at some point as I go through a whole bunch of stuff. Oh no, I found it. Stay tuned for our next live, whenever that is. Make sure you have your notifications turned on, all that good stuff. Because in honor of yeah, so quickly, yeah, Moyo, you can't really play music on YouTube. Hopefully they don't do anything like take the video down. But in honor of Tua, I want to give away this Tua Tagovailoa trading card. So Tua, I want to give this away on our next live. So make sure you are with us live, turn on notifications to be part of that giveaway. And I still haven't forgot about the Ricky Williams card giveaway either. That's still to come. But yeah, this select rookie Tua Tagovailoa be given away on our next live episode.
It's a rookie card?
Yes. So it's be fair, it's Tua. It's difficult to tell when it is, but there's a little like above his name said rookie cards RC. Can you kind of see it in the light?
Dang.
So yeah. Yep, quarterback number 245. So not that.
I ain't gonna lie, if I still collect the cards, I wouldn't even let you get that away.
Listen, I've got quite a few tunes, I know we're kind of running on, but yeah, I've got this 2 in mint condition, 9. I have this one with a bit of his jersey. Quite like that one. And then obviously, as you know, I've got my baby, my perfect friend of the podcast, rookie Javon Holland, wearing 22, which he clarified and verified on Go Time Dolphins that he did wear 22. in his rookie season very briefly. So, yeah. Charlie, as always, thanks for that. And make sure you join us for the next one. Anything else you want to add?
Already.